At Revere High, you have just a whole array of disabilities. Most prevalent health impairments, typically ADHD, as well as specific learning disabilities, students who may really struggle with math or really struggle with reading. And so they need a lot of support in a general ed setting, because these are kids that, when given the opportunity, can be successful when held to the same standards as their peers.
So inclusion in our school is a class that has a gen ed teacher and a special ed teacher, and then the students in the class are made up of general education students and students with disabilities. The amount of students with IEPs in our classes varies. It can be as many as 5, but I've had classes with 2 students on IEPs.
As opposed to pulling them out and putting them in a resource room. The inclusion model, it's giving them that opportunity of being in a regular ed class with extra support to help them be successful. We've even watched kids, that come in on IEPs from middle school, and then by the end of the year, some of the sports they don't need anymore. Maybe in 2 years they're off an IEP altogether. And we have kids on IEPs that are some of the highest functioning kids in our class, and they're helping other general ed students as well. Nobody knows that she's the special ed teacher and I'm the math teacher. Nobody knows these are the kids on IEPs and these are the general ed.
So I think it really works both ways, where both students can support each other. In our classroom, co-teaching is 2 equal parts. We split all the responsibilities, grading-wise, planning-wise, and in the classroom it can look like different things at different times during a class.
Highlighted the angle TPR. Do you want to highlight? While I check off the homework, she's making sure that the students are on task with getting started on the do now. She's taking attendance. So it's like by the time I'm done checking off homework, they're all on task. Attendance is taken, class is underway. 45 seconds. So we're conquering 2 things at one time. We both try to teach the lesson every day. Adjacent angles have a common side and vertex.
Splitting the direct instruction role also gives the students the impression that we're equals.
Grading wise, it's like I grade a test, then you grade the next one. Then I grade a quiz, then you grade the next one. And the same with planning. It gives us both the chance to do everything together.
Humanities and STEM director and myself meet with the co-teaching pairs at the beginning of each school year, just so that we're all on the same page of what co-teaching is and what our expectations around co-teaching are. We spent the last 3 or 4 years offering inclusion workshops during our directors' meetings. What we found when we first started was that it was the special education teacher that would attend the workshop, so we nixed that and said, both partners have to come if you're going to attend. Because what we want to send the message is that co-teaching is not a special ed thing. Co-teaching is a teaching thing. You need an equal commitment by both partners for effective co-teaching to flourish. And when teachers have the ability to share a planning period all day, it allows them to really sit down and collaborate with each other. When they have the 80 minutes to sit down, talk out a lesson, really start thinking about the kids that they're aiming these lessons towards, especially if you're breaking the students up into groups, you can really target and create individualized instruction when you have both adults. You have the content specialist and the special education teacher picking through lessons together.
Having those expectations from day one was really empowering. So it wasn't like there was a warm-up period where I just observed all of the lessons. It was from day one we split the direct instruction and we went over the roles. We talked about splitting grading. Treating yourselves as a team makes a difference.
Also having the trust in one another to give and provide feedback, especially with the planning aspect of things. Like if she's planning a lesson, she'll plan it all and then she'll say, hey, can you take a look at this? What do you think? That's one of the struggles that teachers have. Like the content teacher is like, it's my way, like this is how we have to do it. I've been doing it for years. I have all this experience. But every co-teacher I've worked with has definitely brought something to the table. I think that openness is really important. Being able to release the reins of your classroom to say, hey, this is my partner. We do this together.
The nice part with the new block schedule, it's 80 minutes long. With the 80 minutes, you can really break things down, create a whole lot of different learning stations. Sometimes you'll create homogeneous groups where you have kids who really struggle with one particular topic. Working with the teacher, sometimes you'll create heterogeneous groups where you might have some higher functioning kids working with some kids that are really struggling on a concept.
I also think it's important just because the students are interacting with their peers, and sometimes, I've seen two students working together, one who has an IEP and one who doesn't. Sometimes as a student, they have a better way of explaining it because they're the one who just understood it, and they can kind of explain how the light bulb went off. I've also seen students who are in the class with an IEP who have been very helpful to students who aren't on IEP.
And the nice part about an inclusion classroom, some days it's the students with disabilities that are the ones who understand the material and are teaching their non-disabled peers.
We really have a community of students who all feel like equals and all should feel like equals.
We hold high expectations for all of our students. Everything that we do, we intend that all of our students can achieve it.
So, we're putting these kids in situations where we're saying, this is going to be a challenge, it's going to be difficult, but we're here to help you. And they start to feel the confidence that they can, and they do. And then they start talking about college. They start to flourish and really push themselves beyond what they may have thought was their own limits.